feeling stuck, like you're standing at the edge of something more, but you're sort of unsure on how to take the leap.
If so, it is time to break free from the hesitation, the self doubt, and that spinning in place. Join us, Lisa and Kari, for Unstuck and Unstoppable, which is a powerful masterclass designed to help women just like you move from uncertainty to bold, clear action.
So, in this transformational session, you'll learn how to break through the barriers that have been holding you back. You'll reconnect with your power and your purpose, and you'll step confidently into your next chapter with clarity and courage.
So, this is your moment to stop playing small and start living the life that's been calling you. If you're ready to move forward with confidence and create what's next, this masterclass is for you.
Absolutely. So go to our website, thethingsweknowpodcast.com, and click on Masterclass. We cannot wait to see you there. You're not meant to stay stuck. You're meant to be unstoppable.
Can't wait to see you there. Hey, welcome back to the things we know. This week, we're going to talk about something that affects literally all of us, but no
Yep.
one really prepares for. And that is what it's like to live in a body that's changing.
Yeah, when you say literally all of us, I mean, this is not a menopause episode. This is every single human being from the moment they're born until the moment they shake off this mortal coil. Um, our bodies are changing. So again, these aren't the big milestones. This isn't like menopause or an injury or getting older in general. It's those little slower daily shifts that all of a sudden you're sort of like, wait, what? Changes in vision, mental sharpness, how long it takes to recover after an injury, how your clothes fit, how your energy feels, all of those things that just, it's living in a body that's changing.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I mean, we're in the world of like self-improvement and growth and we've been health coaches, we've coached health coaches, but also fitness people, like, and
Yeah.
and thank God for them. Like, think anyone who's like helping people stay stronger, stave off unhealthy things like, diabetes or heart disease. That's amazing. My former retreat partner is a fitness coach for, women who are in their 40s and 50s and beyond. And she I was thinking of her when we were like thinking about this topic and how she would be, and you're like, yeah, I can get an 80-year-old in a handstand, and like, it's just a like the way we mess with our minds, but really your body doesn't
Mm.
have to change. And then I can also see her over time being like, dang, hot flashes, and like how much worse it would be if I wasn't in great shape, or like she's definitely adjusting her language around it, but she's also like winning weightlifting championships too.
Well,
So
I
when
was
I
guilty of that for sure. Like back when I was a Weight Watcher leader and I was in my 30s and 40s, and one of my favorite members who you met,
Mm,
oh my God, why did I just literally Susan? God, why did I call her Sharon?
mm.
Sharon is also one of my favorites, but Susan, who you met when we were in Chicago last time, I can remember her coming up to me and like shaking her finger at me, just like, you wait till you get into menopause. You just wait. And I was like, and I just the confidence of youth. And I thought
So
for
true.
sure, like, oh no, I'll be fine. Nope.
Right. So like I do want to say habits will definitely alter how your
Yes.
body is changing. Like, there's a lot of good preventative stuff you can do with the way you eat, the way you move. Lisa's so great. No matter what's going on in her life, no matter where she is, I notice you get up and you do like active exercise.
Yeah.
And as I've said here before, I've been less consistent since I've had a puppy, but trying to be better. But I'm really good at, like moving, and the way I feed my body and like take care of my skin and all that
You're
stuff
better
like
at
that.
food than I am.
And so, like there are things you and I both know that, like, thank God I'm doing this, because it could be so much worse.
Totally.
However, regardless, like, I can look back at different parts of my life where I was taking my body for granted, where I was in better shape, or where I'm doing better now than I was like a few years ago. because of sleep or whatever, but my body has changed. Definitely. No question that even if I didn't have the situation with my one eye where I'm like always dilated, just PS, that's just a unique to me in a surgery I had, but my vision is less, like it's not as sharp as it used to be. And
Yeah.
my mobility, that's a very humbling thing. Like if I'm sitting for a while and I get up, I'm like, oh, that's a little stiff. My memory used to be super sharp. And it's, like just to be in a body and a brain that's like got all these different fluctuations of hormones. None of it is what it was 10 years ago. Right. And that's
Yeah.
okay. Like it's better than the alternative. I'm glad I'm here. So I don't want to be complaining, but I do want to be honest because, pretending that it's not happening doesn't help. And I also don't want to make it an excuse to not do things. I want to be grateful that I'm aging, but also, allow myself sometimes to grieve it as well.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because here I am using the example from when I was in my 40s. I'm pretty sure we thought we were pretty cool when we started this pod.
I know. We want to help you make this next chapter your sexiest, most vibrant ever. And we do. We do.
Totally,
We're all for that. It just is like,
totally.
it's not going to feel the same as it did in your
We just
30s and
thought
40s.
we were so cool when we were 50.
Oh,
Oh my
we
gosh.
did because we had someone looking at us going, I cannot believe you guys are 52. I can't believe it. You
Right.
guys look great. And we're like, ah, thanks.
Oh my
Did not
gosh.
know that I was I was still I was
So
still
much was
young.
ahead. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah. And I mean, that's only 4 years ago, right? We're
We're
both
like 52. This
56.
is not bad.
Oh my gosh. It makes me, I mean,
I
but there's
jinxed
a
it.
humor. But that's just it, right? You didn't jinx it. We didn't know what we didn't know. And
Right.
I don't think I guess maybe for me, third time's a charm. I don't think I would make that mistake again. I clearly made it twice. And yeah, I mean, we were quick to sort of frame this as aging as a decline, but it really can just be a transition. Let me check back on this pod in 4 years from now. But really focusing on not what we've lost, but learning how to work with it, right? And so, I'm not gonna lie, I'm always the stiffness is the thing I think I hate the most for me currently. I
Mm.
was stiff for so many years. They kept getting worse. I kept thinking, oh, it's just aging. Obviously it turned out I needed a hip replacement. So getting the hip replaced, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And it has been, but then you start to notice the things that were being overshadowed by the pain of my hip. And so
Sure.
it's my knees. And so you're right. I mean, we sit and record for 2 or 3 hours and then I get up after one of these and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Like it's just, and that makes me feel old, right? There's a lot of
Right.
things that don't make me feel old, right? Yes, my eyesight's gotten worse, but I get cute glasses, right? The stiffness, that sort of thing is the thing that probably, and it's made me change the way I do my movement, right? So it's
Mm.
instead of, I think part of what we're trying to get at here in this episode is instead of throwing up your hands and saying, well, I'm just getting older, so this is how this is going to be. If you think of it as a transition, it's like, okay, how do I work with this new body? Right? One of the
Right.
reasons I get up, even when you and I are traveling and doing our retreats, is because I know that if I get up and I move, not only do I mentally feel better, but it does get all the juices flowing in my legs and keeps my hips and knees more movable. I'm not quite such a
Right. Oh my
Barbie.
gosh. And that lubrication of joints is like something, we weren't talking about 10 years ago. We were
Well,
just
I
taking it for
was,
granted.
but yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I remember, I so distinctly remember, I'm sure I was turning 40 and it was on my birthday and I'd had a really good run. And I came home and just, again, the hubris, I posted something about it as my 40th birthday and I feel better than I did when I was 30. And somebody who actually, in retrospect, I think I didn't realize at the time was my age, our friend David Scott Hay. I remember him responding to that post being like, just wait. And again, I was just like, nope, I'll be fine. Nope, nope, nope.
This was when you turned 40.
This is when I turned 40. But I
I
just thought like,
swear 40 was my, if dare say, like my hottest decade in terms of fitness. Like It
Oh, me
definitely
too.
was
No question.
so
No
strong.
question.
I definitely like maybe I'd done it. I don't know. I think I'd already done a half marathon,
But I'm
but like
also curious if I overdid it in my 40s because I was feeling so good. It does, I do question myself around like things that were
yeah,
going bad that I just thought, ooh, I just pulled something. Ooh, I just was probably the beginning of my hip going bad. You
yeah.
don't have to talk about my hip.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I want to say like what surprised me the most. Here's the thing. I think I've maybe told you this before, but I don't know if I've said it on recording.
On camera.
I am, people mostly find me to be a compassionate listener and a sympathetic or empathetic person, but I honestly never have to admit when people in my life would talk about like throwing their back out,
Mm,
I literally couldn't understand it. So I probably lacked the sympathy they deserved
yep.
until, of course, I did anything to my own back. And so,
Yeah.
like the things that surprised me is like, wow, this is bad. Like I had no idea because I'd be kind of like, well, yeah, that's sorry. Get up though. Like, so
Right.
can you get up?
Well, when you know better,
Like,
you do better.
yeah, like you don't know what you don't know. So
Right.
it's not like I couldn't imagine. I could see that your ability to like keep up walking had declined fast.
Hmm.
That didn't seem you didn't seem old. You definitely seemed in pain. And
Did you ever get to be with me for those couple of weeks where I was actually on a cane? I looked old.
I'm sure you probably felt that way. I was with you a lot leading up to it
You were, yeah.
and knowing, and so
But isn't it
definitely,
interesting
but
though?
like,
Because mentally, it made me feel eons older. Like, I appreciate the reflection. I mean, I even had people be like, oh, you can rock that cane, which I just, that's so nice. But it does. But the point being, like, it it's amazing. And I know we did a whole episode after I got the hip replacement of what pain does to you. But I think that's the other thing too is if you are feeling a certain way, if you're not allowing these transitions to happen and you're fighting against them, I think mentally it can kind of fuck with you.
yeah, for sure. I would say this may surprise you, but one of the things I'm grateful for changes, because like I really was someone who could take it all for granted for a long time.
Yeah.
One of the things that surprised me most that I actually really love is like how, and we talked about this with Alex, like how actually learning and paying attention and like connecting into like understanding what muscles we're doing or what joints we're doing or even organs, like learning it and understanding it gives me so much more appreciation and also better intuition about what I need or like
Yeah.
what I should pay attention to. So yeah, it's funny, like things I didn't ever have to think about before. I'm really grateful that I understand it now. I'm really grateful that I'm like, oh, because I did have injuries in my, late 20s and 30s. And I'm
Yeah, you
so
did.
much more in my body now because of those injuries and what I had to learn and recovering from them, and then getting older and trying to avoid those things so that I can be as strong as I can for an adult son that might go down at any moment.
Right.
And I did recently injure myself,
Hmm.
preventing him from hitting the ground. And I know exactly what to do. And
Hmm.
so I think like what surprises me is like that I didn't learn those things sooner, like I didn't understand those
Mm.
things sooner, and how helpful that is to like really have a sense of it and what I need to correct it if I can. This is knock on wood. It's all lucky that so far it's been adjustable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point. I wonder, because like I did, my mom never had any major issues, or my dad, and so I never had to witness that. I wonder, do you think your boys understand this differently at a young age? But the smile on your face, I'm gonna assume no,
Well, no, they're
because
just
they
each
just
so
like
different.
watched you,
There
right?
is, yes, but like, do we ever, when we're young in a like nubile body, do we ever really pay attention to aches and pains? Like
No.
that young people are just so, as we
Yeah.
were,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so invincible. Like not invincible. Is it invincible?
No, invincible. Yeah, we think
Yeah,
we're invincible. Yeah.
yeah. And so also just my smirk was about like Peter will live with ridiculous pains that we didn't even know about and just be like, yeah, like he just doesn't even pay attention to them. And then we're like,
Yeah.
dude, your shoulder's been coming out of its socket. Like we should get that looked at.
Is that a real thing?
So that was. And then
Wow.
Griffin, man, like he's just God knows what it feels like in his body with all the tweaking that's happened. And
Yeah.
we do what we can to mitigate those things. But if they don't tell us, they're not like looking around for any assistance or correction. And so sometimes I wonder about the posture stuff that they're gonna or the pain aches and pains they'll have ahead of them
Yeah.
if they don't. But Miles is really really good at being like, hey, I could use it. I've got like these things going on in my vision, or I'm getting these headaches, or my digestion
Yeah.
is this way. And it's not to make it sound like he's whining or complaining. He's just really good at going like, hey, if I can get this fixed, I'd like to. So I don't know, maybe I guess to answer your question, maybe he is paying attention and he's understanding that like it's helpful to learn this stuff early.
Well, and also just you saying that made me think about the fact that like many kids, I don't. Well, Charlotte was a dancer, so it probably works with her. It wouldn't necessarily work with Liam, but our kids' generation played a lot harder sports, a lot more sports all year round. When Charlotte was Irish dancing, she was definitely like Irish dancing all year long. It wasn't just St.
That's
Patrick's
true.
Day. So I think that's interesting. It's funny. I have a friend who's our age, and she is a ballerina. She doesn't dance anymore, but she's a choreographer now. And we were we were actually out to dinner in like February. And I did what I just said. I got up we'd been sitting there having drinks and dinner, and I got up from the table, and it was just like when I get up from sitting for a long time, I have to stand there for a second. It's almost like my body won't move. I have to almost like do this thing where I'm like center myself and then actively move, even after my hip replacement. And Jill just got up and walked. And I was like, wait a minute, you have been dancing as a ballerina. Like she danced for Canada. Like she is a very well established dancer. She's been dancing since she was 14 at a very high level. And I asked her, I was like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you not standing up and being like, ow, ow, ow? And she just said they were trained, from our or she felt, of course, it could be Canada, but she felt like she was trained in a way. And I do remember this with Charlotte, like she had cross training, right? It wasn't just training to Irish dance. We had her in some classes where she was learning cross training, essentially, stamina and how to take care of your muscles and your bones and those sort of things. So I do kind of, as we're talking about this, I worry a little bit about the younger generation and the aches and pains. They're probably going to be different than ours.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot about having when you're not in regular sports, how important it is to just be taking care of your body now.
Yeah,
I don't know how much that lands for them, but we say it
sure.
all the
Yeah.
time. The other thing too, like, I don't know if this is a surprise, but we say this to our kids all the time. It's like, eat whatever you want to right now. Because honestly, aging bodies like really start rejecting things that were no big deal to you before. Maybe
Yep.
not, but like, I don't know anyone who's our age who doesn't say, oh, I can't eat that anymore.
Yep.
It's not the biggest
Totally.
deal. Like I'm not like grieving it or anything. It's more
No.
comical to me, but it's amazing how often that comes up with even the fittest people. It's like, oh no, can't do that. Or everyone pops their lactate or something. It's just funny to me. Like
Totally.
I think that those things are not things I would have absorbed at their age, and they're not absorbing that either. They're just like, what? Huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And we metabolize slower and all that stuff that shifts. Um, and yet, here we are kind of laughing about all this, but there's no question that there is still this pressure to age gracefully, right? I know you see Paulina Poroskova. I know our friend Jen's a huge fan of her. Uh, She is aging gracefully because she is just allowing her body to do what it is naturally supposed to do. But like let's talk about that societal pressure that it puts on all of us.
Yeah, this whole Sarah Jessica Parker, like every time she talks about it, I just really love it. It's like,
I love her.
why do we, have all this bullshit saying you're supposed to age gracefully, but then we can't stand when someone gets work, we can't stand when they do,
Yep.
like, oh God,
Yep.
she's like gotten so old. Oh, really? She's aging. She's
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
Oh, she did so much work. It's like, well, yeah, because you rip on the person who looks older. Of course, this other one decided to like try to preserve and got a little butchered there, maybe. But it's just I
Damned if you
don't.
do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, like I think that the pressures and the internalized expectations, and also we always feel younger inside than we actually are. It's hard when we look in the mirror and we're like, oh yeah, you should, like there's a lot
Yep.
less like pigment there under my eyes than there used to be. It's just
Where'd
um
these gels come from?
yeah, like all that. And so I guess I don't really know what to say about it other than why can't we just like laugh and keep laughing and let the lines get deeper and enjoy that we're still here laughing. That's so much more simple. But yeah, I don't know a single woman, even the most healthy you know self-confident women, who don't at least once in a while go, oh, I look tired, oh, I look old. It's too bad.
Oh, no question. No question. Yeah. Um, and of course, it really depends on your role in this time of your life or any time of your life, right? Like if you were a caretaker or maybe you felt even older when you had young kids, not you, but the general you,
Yeah.
right? Are you a caretaker? Are you a parent? Are you a leader? Like what kind of stress are you under? What kind of stress are you putting yourself under? Are you taking care of yourself? I mean, there's so many variables to how we might feel in our body at any given time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wanted to like I don't know if this is jumping ahead, but this seems like a really good time to talk about this idea that we've touched on here. We've touched on menopause, we've touched on, like sex drive at different ages, or the Crohn's, like all these like different things about getting older that, we know wisdom and life tells us to enjoy. And yet we do get caught up in the minutia and the unpleasantness or the discomfort of, hot flashes if you have them, or wrinkles or whatever. But I mean, I know for me, like the things I get caught up in are definitely my vision, my mobility,
Mm.
and then skin, like skin quality. Like, oof. Those are the things I like trying to not give a shit about. And it's getting easier. Like I really don't give a shit like, lately at all.
I don't
I
have
don't care.
time to give a
I
shit,
know.
but I'm not gonna say I don't give a shit. Like,
Yes.
and
Right.
it's funny too because what I noticed, talk about me working out in the morning, like I'm sitting here now and I'm like, okay, my skin looks fine. But then, like I'm doing a plank or something and I look down, I'm like, ooh, whose legs are those?
Right. Oh my gosh. The
Because they're
stuff that
just,
hangs. That's so
I
funny.
mean, and the answer is always my dad's. Like that's what's so funny is I'm very much built like my dad was, and long legs, short body, and I look at my legs and I'm like, wow, that is what I remember thinking my dad's legs looked like as he got older, just the way the skin hangs and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I can't say that it doesn't cross my mind. And do I buy some creams that theoretically help? Sure, but am I under any illusion that they will? Not necessarily.
Right.
But you're
I
right, like
know.
the anti-aging industry, it has to be
Like
second.
that's my algorithm is
Totally.
upper body arm exercises and neck cream
100%. I mean,
and
and
recipes.
oh my God. And it's just getting worse. Like the other day I looked at
Yeah.
it was flowing through, I think Facebook, this looked like a really kind of cool kit of Pilates things. And it was like if you've always wanted a reformer, but you don't have it, and I'm just kind of getting bored with my workouts. So I was like, oh, that might be interesting. I clicked on it for 30 seconds. Oh my God, biggest mistake of my life. Like then it was
Everything
just
is
from different companies, same product, different people to follow. It's like, oh, I'll be glad when this gets out of my algorithm. But I'm curious. I didn't look this up. I don't know if you did. I wonder if the anti-aging industry isn't second only to the weight loss industry.
Oh, I'm sure, because
When you think?
we're going to be I mean, Gen X is an aging population, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty big one. Yeah, and then it's already was maxed out with boomers too, so it's just
Right.
already like I haven't looked it up. I will though, because that is really interesting. And when this drops, and you can post about it, because I think it would be a really important stat to understand.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is this, Dr. Jen Gunter, she's an OBGYN, and she wrote the Menopause Manifesto, which is really good. I've only dabbled in it. I like didn't
Okay.
read the whole thing because I was at someone's house and they had it. But she loves to say, like remind you that like all these life stages are just what they are. Like, so to think about yourself as aging, it kind of sounds like you're not ripe anymore, or you're past your expiry date or something. Like, it's just so dumb, right? It's just like
Right.
aging isn't a loss of youth, it's a new stage of strength and self-possession. And I really love that, because the other part of this, and I think we do a good job at this, we don't dwell on this stuff, like, because it really is such a more grounded time of wisdom. And
Yeah.
like we always talked about how we'd see older women and think they're so beautiful because of just the life in their eyes and the wisdom, and they don't overreact to anything. They're always like, mm-hmm. And I used to mistake it as them not caring, and now I just know that like they're not surprised. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah,
And that does
and
go back to our original mission,
yeah,
is to
right,
letting, yeah, that this isn't this new time, this crone, whatever, again, I had a friend say something about a crone. I was like, well, I'm a crone. And he goes, well, how are you a crone? I'm like, any woman that's not in childbearing years is a crone. Um, but even that, we talked about that before. Like, it's the picture of the old like bent over witch. And I think something I really want to presence is the fact that AI is killing us when it comes to comparison around, if you see one of those ads or one of those reels where two really hot silver foxes are walking down the street, trust me when I tell you that is AI. Not that there aren't silver foxes walking around. I'm just saying, like, do you want to look like this woman with her gorgeous flowing salt and pepper
silver
hair?
hair, yeah.
Which, to be fair, my mom did look like that in her 50s, no question. But like, it's AI. It's AI.
Our
It's
friend
AI.
Stacy has silver hair, and she's pretty
She has
hot
the
too.
most gorgeous silver hair. Absolutely. I'm just saying, like that when
Yeah,
we spend a lot of time on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and that shit
it's
comes up all the time. And those two people are not real. Just want to say that. Yeah, I think again, this I love that it's a stage of strength and self-possession. I think you and I definitely feel that, and that is actually why we started the pod. I also like Brené Brown's talking about embracing vulnerability, which we quote all the time, and being fully embodied. She says that the body is often the first place shame shows up, and the last place that we offer compassion. So I do think we're laughing through this entire pod because we both know that, yes, we look at different parts of our body. You and I talk about it when we're together in person. And we also ultimately at the end of the day just go, nope, okay, well, let's go have
yeah,
another glass of wine.
yeah.
let's go to Mr. Beef,
It's
whatever
just
it might
not
be.
something, yeah, it's just not something that I'm willing to dwell on, even if I get snagged by it. But I do
Correct.
want to say, I'm really glad you brought up that quote, because I think it's just, I have a lot of compassion for it. If it's the first place that shame shows up,
Mm,
it's going to be so easy to return to that shame if you haven't worked through it, if you
yeah.
haven't, especially, I mean, I can think of one client who just, went through a divorce, and was caregiver to a parent, and really, had some hard years, and with going through all these hormonal changes, put on some weight, and just completely shut down, just shut down
Mm,
her life, like, and just kept thinking, like, she didn't realize how much she was doing the I'll live life again when I lose weight thing,
mm,
right? Like, instead of
yeah.
seeing that living life would probably help her release it. And
Yeah.
I just have a lot of tenderness around that on top of all the things that are just naturally hard about life, especially right now,
Yeah.
hating your body is, it's just the saddest thing. And Andrew Gibson, who is this just incredible, beautiful poet who just died,
Yeah.
they had incredible things to say about body image and things like this. And one of the things they said in a poem, and I'm going to butcher it, but I'll find it for you later, is, it, the worst thing that happened to you wasn't what happened to you. It was you hating yourself
Mm,
after. Right. And it does go into the body stuff, but like, that's the lines that it's like, ugh, having like going through something hard with your body, but then hating yourself for it. That's the worst thing.
yeah, it literally adds insult to injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
Mm, yeah. So I think that maybe that's why we wanted to talk about it, because there's such a tenderness there. Like,
yeah.
just be kinder to yourself. Be kinder to yourself if you can. Like, living in a body that's changing. Hey, if you're upright and you got a body that moves, find, like, find ways to be nice to it and love it. And I wonder how like that will start to shift things.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like our sense of humor around it, but it doesn't mean that it's always there for us either, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is that we we have bodies that are aging. We have aches and pains and sometimes aches and pains on steroids. Um, and like everything that we talk about, we are constantly still learning and adjusting and shifting in our thoughts around this too. So right now we're kind of giggling and laughing about it, but it doesn't always feel that way, not by any
Yeah.
stretch.
I
Yeah,
like what you just said. It just kind of made me think, like, who are you without this body?
yeah,
Because that doesn't change.
right.
Like, how are you still you at any size, right? Like, so that doesn't change, or at any fitness level, or at any mobility level. Um, yeah,
Well,
I think you're
and
right.
that goes to this other quote here, this from Mary Piper, I'm going to say, or Pipher,
Mm-hmm.
Women Rowing North. She says, if we can keep our hearts open and our minds flexible, aging can be filled with adventure and meaning. Now, that adventure and meaning may not look like it did when we were in our 30s or 40s. And when we get in our 70s, we might look back at the 50s and be like, oh, that's cute. Um, but the point is, meeting your body and your abilities where they're at and not kind of just tossing it away because it doesn't do what it used to or what you think it should do. Like again, sort of focusing on what do you have versus what don't you have.
Oh, I like it. And yeah, and it's not about what's fading, it's what's deepening. Like, the
Yeah.
more the more I'm aware and in touch with and in communication with my body, the more I can focus on other things that I really
Yeah.
do care about.
A
Yeah.
million percent. And so yeah, this identity piece is big, right? So okay, maybe I don't move like I used to. I don't look like I once did. Would I love that? Sure. But when I can just sort of own, okay. And so it's interesting. I don't know, I don't exactly know when this is coming out, but as I mentioned back a while ago, Darren and I are doing this thing, America's Favorite Couple, and I just pulled because the whole story and while I'm trying how I'm trying to win is that we've been together since we were 18. So I started pulling pictures so I could put him in this thing, and it is so interesting to watch the transition of Darren and I going from 18 to 56. And yeah, we look different, but it was a nice experience to almost just be like, oh, hi, 18-year-old Darren and Lisa. Oh, hi, 32-year-old Darren and Lisa. And just almost tip of the hat to each age, right? I know, tiny hat. Um, and I just think, that could be a valuable experience if you're sort of bemoaning what you don't have anymore. Going back,
Yeah.
we talk about the little one. It's not quite the little one, but going back and just almost loving up on that person and loving up on each transition that we've all had and will continue to have, God is willing.
Yeah. I think, like, I've been thinking a lot about, my youngest going off to college and just
Yeah.
things shifting and changing. And I'm realizing, like, somebody said there's grief in realizing you're never gonna see these little stages they grow out of. You never knew it was like the last time you were gonna be with them that way, right? And then they grew
Yeah.
and changed. And so it's like there's grief in saying goodbye to younger versions of them. It's the same, like you said, it's with yourself. It's like realizing you may never return to a body that once felt easy to live in.
Right.
It's valid. It's valid. And yet there's also something liberating you when you stop chasing an old version of yourself. Um,
Yes.
so, fall in love maybe. Like, how could you fall in
Yeah.
love with what's there now? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, this isn't about not having work done or having work done, right? But if you can just sort of ask yourself the question, not, or I guess I should say it another way. Instead of asking the question, how do I fix this, right? Like, okay, if you need a hip
Mhm.
replacement, you need a hip replacement. But it's more about how do I live well and love the body, the face, the legs, the skin that I'm in? Can I trust it? Can I listen to it? Can I offer it kindness? If you choose to do more and feel better in some way, okay, great. I think that's awesome. But like when people don't figure out how to have a healthy relationship with food and just lose weight, right? If you can't figure out how to have a healthy relationship with where your body's at, all the Botox and the filler and the whatever in the world isn't going to make you happy.
Mm-mm. No. Yeah, I like this because it's making me realize, it's just if we could agree that aging isn't a betrayal, it
Yes.
is just like it's your story,
Yeah.
right? Your story is, like our bodies are just like it sounds so silly, just like trees can tell you some stuff about them. Like we've walked some miles, we've laughed a
Yeah.
lot, we've endured a lot. So it's one that your story includes pain, beauty, resilience, and wisdom and accomplishment and some some loss and some gains and some
Hmm.
success, all of that. And I think if we, I don't know, I mean, I just think it's so important to say they're not just worthy and powerful, but they're all successes because they're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the idea of like having a laugh line means you've laughed.
I know.
Having little crow's feet around your is because you've smiled, you know.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about our song this week, which really we hope leaves you with the reminder that you're not just what the world sees. You're not just the parts that are changing.
Yeah, it's an India Ari song. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light, oh light, all light. I didn't write the
Hmm.
name down. What is it again? What did I just say it was? It's called I Am Light. Yeah.
I am light.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not the color of my eyes. I'm not the skin on the outside. I'm not my age. I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light, all light. Love it.
Love it. I think
It's
that
funny because
feels.
we also recorded one today about being a lighthouse. So it's funny.
I mean,
Yeah,
both are true, right? You can't be a lighthouse if you aren't feeling really steady in your body,
that's true.
and that is, and yeah. So we'll leave
Cool.
it at that. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week.
Bye.